Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gucci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on YouTube, the Mojo YouTube, right here coming to you live from Chop Studios. And of course, none other than Dave Sturchio, Chris Gucci, back in the house today. And of course, it is May the 9th, 2023. Before we get into all the NBA festivities from last night, which you can tell in the tone of my voice that I'm not as thrilled to talk about any kind of NBA action last night, but there was decent ball games played. Yankees won. Hey, anybody care? Yankees got a win last night, which was a big one because, you know, you would try to get right, and they scored a lot of runs, and, you know, they're putting balls over the fences, put the balls in play. Great. A couple great defensive plays. A good feel-good win for the Yankees.
If the Yankees lost, then it would have been
all
hell would break
loose.
Oh,
my God.
They got to take one of the next two just to make sure all hell does not break loose.
Yes, they need to sweep them. Let's be honest. The A's don't care about baseball right now. You got to sweep the A's. Nestor, as always, as per usual, I saw a stat yesterday that he's got his stats at home are just filthy, and he's not let up more than 3 runs in his career at home. So that's
and I was
nice.
looking at I said yesterday the Yankees pitching was I'm worried about the pitching, but the pitching has been holding up. I wasn't really
they have like the best bullpen ERA.
I wasn't really
in the league.
talking about right now per se. I'm saying I'm worried about their pitching holding up. I guess that's for any team.
Holding up. I mean, we don't have all of our guys yet, which I guess
but that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, it's time to get into it. The New York Knicks last night once again beaten by the Miami Heat. The game itself, it didn't play right.
Series is over.
This series does look like it's on the brink of being over, and there's a lot. This is like a very layered game last night because it's like you got to get off to a hot start. We realize that because once the Knicks fall behind, they don't have these three-point shooters, especially now you're missing Emmanuel quickly. He missed the game with an ankle. Like, you don't have these kinds of role players that can go out there and just shoot threes left and right, so you can't get behind too quick, and that's what happened. I'm at the point now where I'm just like, what is in the water in Miami? They didn't miss a shot, it felt like. Their perimeter shooting was fantastic. Bam Adebayo just owned the paint. He just, every time you got it to him, he was getting an easy look, and if not, he was kicking it out for a three from 100-year-old Love, like Kevin Love. It's like everything that could have went wrong was going wrong. And then the crazy part is, Chris, the Knicks were shooting well too. They were shooting very well. But when you get behind...
It came down to lack of hustle and rebounding. And when you're the Knicks right now in the position they were in, the one thing that you can't be is out-hustled because they're not as talented as the rest of the teams in the playoffs right now. And you could make the case that they're just as talented as the Heat. But they were
the odds-on favorites to win this series.
They're getting outworked on all the loose balls. Every time there's a ball hitting the rim, there's 4 guys crashing for Miami, and the Knicks are standing around. And you're not going to win that way. Not against the Jimmy Butler-led team. Not going to happen. And when the Knicks, that should be their identity, was we're going to at least outwork you, and they're getting outworked. Julius Randle, I liked his comments after the game. I'm sure he's going to take criticism, as he should, because of the way he played, but I think his point rings true. He said,
Hustle?
I think Miami just maybe wants it more than we do. And I think that was a way to tell the rest of the guys, like, we need to step up.
Okay, well, Julius.
Well, that's my point. I know he's going to, but as the leader... I think maybe he could have worded it differently, maybe, but I think the underlying point is saying, like, somebody's got to say something, and it's got to be public, and what's going to happen? What are they going to lose? The season's going to be over? Nothing's going – you can't take anything from Randall for his comments. I agree with him. Miami looks like they want it more.
I think if it was somebody else, if it was Brunson who said it, then maybe you could be like, yeah, he's right, guys, let's rally. But if Julius Randle's saying it, who's chucking up threes like it's his job to do so – guy, you're not a three-point shooter. Neither are you, Obi.
Maybe it is his job to do so. I don't know. You know, we don't know what's going on. Do you really get the impression that Julius Randle's just playing hero ball and just, you know, he's a 4, so it's not like he starts.
He's a 4, and he should play like a 4.
But they're getting him the ball, and they're calling plays for him. It looks like to me.
It is. There absolutely is a plays called for. But then, and then again, when you're a big body like Julius Randle,
plus,
which I consider
he's
him
playing injured, I do.
Fine, but I consider him a bigger bodied 4 too. He's got some weight on him, right? He's driving to the basket, and he's always looking for that outlet or other underneath. There was one magnificent pass where he went literally around the back of Adebayo to find Mitch Robinson, but like otherwise, and Mitch Robinson was fouled and missed both free throws. So it's like if you got that lane and you're the better free throw shooter, just go up with it. Like, I don't understand. There's a lot of kickouts, and this is credit to Miami. Every time they swung that ball around, they was so fast on the ball movement around the perimeter that there was always an open look. And when you have open looks and you play in the NBA, 9 times out of 10, you're going to make the shots, right? The Knicks couldn't get the open looks, and when they did, they were clanking them towards the end. I will only give it up for guys like R.J. Barrett, who once again, he's averaging 21 points a game in this series because he's absolutely just at least trying to save his identity in New York, because there was a lot of people, including myself, that said, all right, look, this would have been a perfect trade piece for somebody else because R.J. stinks. But he came out here and he's played as good as he could possibly play.
That's the problem. That's what I was talking about yesterday. It's like
that's as good as he possibly could play.
It's as good as he could possibly play, and it's 21. Maybe R.J. Barrett. Look, I could be wrong. I know that there's certain people, Kyle, who's going to talk like, oh, Kawhi Leonard took some time to blossom as well. Kind of a similar game. But
how much time have we got here? Like, he's been in the league for 4 years.
Kawhi Leonard also is just a different type of physical specimen when you're looking at the length and the things like that he brings. Attribute-wise, they're just different players. But I'm not going to say pump the brakes on R.J. Barrett being a superstar. It's still there's still time on it.
I'm not calling him a superstar. I at least call him out for his hustle towards the end of the game, which I'm
really calling myself out. I'm not going to say, there's no way he doesn't materialize into a star, or that he does. I'm not saying that. There's a chance, but that's the issue with the Knicks, is that R.J. Barrett was their best player. I mean, you could make the case that he was their best player yesterday. That's not going to get it done.
Listen, Brunson did his thing again, went for 32. Some of the shots that Brunson were hitting were incredible. But again, it comes down to the fact that Miami, at certain times of this game, had like 3-minute possessions, 4-minute possessions because of 4 offensive rebounds on one drop. It's like, what are we doing? Like, how many times can you get outworked underneath? And you have size. Don't tell me you guys don't have the kind of size to get up there and get these rebounds. Bam is not the only guy jumping around for the ball. Trust me. Like, it's very defeating. The Knicks now go back home, the Garden, tomorrow night. How they play this, I don't know. Like, even if they do have the energy and the Gardens rocking and all this other good stuff, that's great. But once you get back down to Miami, it's just like, okay, like, you have to absolutely outwork these guys for 4 quarters. You cannot show heart for a couple quarters. And then this was, I heard the analogy today, this was a 12-round boxing match last night where 10 rounds, it was just getting chipped up. And guess what? 11th round, bank, and it's gone. Game over. Like, the Knicks didn't have a prayer at the end of this game. I don't care. Every time they got it within 5, I was like, here we go. We're in striking distance.
I don't think this series,
11.
I don't give the Knicks much of a chance in game 5. I really don't.
You think they lose it at the Garden?
I mean, it's Jimmy Butler waving to the Garden. I think he's going to come back to the Garden.
Hey, everybody remember me?
That's what I'm looking at happening in that game. But we'll talk more about that.
Yeah. And when it gets here, it's tomorrow. We'll get back into that game. Also, so Knicks aside, again, not the greatest way to start the night. If you were up into the wee hours of the night, you were able to watch the Los Angeles Lakers take a 3-1 series lead over the Warriors. Now, look, we've said it, and I sound like a broken record at this point, but like, when those role players are on the court at the same time, these Lakers are hard to beat, man. I'm looking at the stat line just in general, but when guys like Austin Reeves are dropping 20+, and in addition to your role players playing good basketball, LeBron easily 27, AD 23. It sucks for a guy like Steph Curry, who did everything he possibly could except show up in the big play at the end. A triple-double out of Steph Curry in an NBA Western Conference semifinal game. You're supposed to win that game when you have a star like Steph Curry. So the last part of it was just a little brutal.
Look, the whole game, AD went off in the first half and was completely absent in the second half. It wasn't really on him, though, I wouldn't say. I mean, they did a really good job, the Lakers did, making, I guess, adjustments because they were down a little bit. I don't know if they had to make many, but going into the fourth quarter, they were down 7. And Lonnie Walker, the fourth of all people.
The Lakers were down 7?
The Lakers were down 7 going into the fourth. Lonnie Walker, the fourth of all people. 15 points on the game. Guess how many in the fourth quarter?
15?
15.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's no way.
Out of nowhere, you get guys like that stepping up. That's what you need out of your bench in the playoffs.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker.
LeBron James did his thing. AD did his thing defensively, more so in the second half, which they did a really good job. LeBron, every single time they got LeBron matched up with Curry or Clay, he attacked. And that just put them in a blender on defense, and they were gassed. In the fourth quarter, it looked like Golden State was just completely gassed, which you're not used to seeing out of a Golden State team. But it was because of the pressure they put on offense with LeBron when he was taking it to the rack. The Lakers just look like a team that's playing at a different level than Golden State. And Down the stretch, Draymond botched. He did have a nice offensive rebound kick out to Steph, but Steph couldn't get it done. He shot the ball from
Another
the foul
area
line
code.
behind the backcourt, it seemed like. But you're not going to take anything from Steph for trying the shot. He hits that regularly.
And you know what? Credit to them for getting the ball to Steph instead of Jordan Poole.
But it's AD.
So-
I got to give credit for AD. He's out. He's way out on the perimeter, getting a hand in the face. And then on the play before that, before the kick out, was basically Steph and AD isolated on the perimeter, and he couldn't shake him. Had to force a tough shot.
It's a lot of man to shake. You got to be quick. Not only that, but that's a lot of surface to try to get around.
The Lakers are just going to be a tough out at this point. I don't say that they're the favorites, but they're going to be a tough out, and they're definitely. Golden State should win Game 5. I could easily see this going
Back at
6.
the Oracle. They still call it the Oracle? I don't even know.
I don't see Golden State being able to take LeBron James. And the way this team is playing, unless AD gets hurt right away.
Well, think about it like this. I mean, I know it's very, very blunt and very direct, but can you see this Lakers team losing 3 games in a row?
No. I just said, not even
That's what I'm saying.
not going to happen. I don't think
they don't lose games when these guys are on the court.
I think
it's
there's
just the
a
way
chance that they get blown out in Game 5. Golden State's going to show up. Steph's playing
Sure,
pissed off.
fine.
Steph's playing out of his mind. It takes a couple more guys to be able to step up. But I think really what it comes down to is there really is a size issue for Golden State right now.
Well, that's always been the case. They've always been a smaller team, even with
Yeah,
Clay
but
and Draymond at their
it
peak.
wasn't an issue when these guys were running and gunning. They were
Right.
But defensively, they struggled. Even though the score doesn't really say so, because it was a pretty low scoring game in terms of NBA
104-101 the final.
But the Lakers controlled the pace the entire time in the second half, more so.
We
Really
shall
the fourth
see
quarter.
how that all plays out. And of course, tonight on the old docket, we do have some more playoff action. Philadelphia goes at Boston. Had a couple 76ers fans chirping at me last night. And I said, why don't you just calm down because you're about to get pushed in over there in Boston. I don't know. I mean, look, home court, I like Boston to win tonight. I do. James Harden's playing all world. We all know that. But like what I'm seeing out of the Boston Celtics at home in that place at TD Garden or whatever they call it. They call it TD Garden still? Okay, cool. I see them winning tonight's game. To me, that's just my pick for the game. But then, of course, later on tonight, Joker will be on the court. There will be no suspension. The owner came out and said, hey, listen, it's the heat of the game. Let's not do this. Let's not suspend. Let's go win Game 5, blah, blah, blah. But both series tonight,
I would be
locked into 2.
furious if I was a Suns fan. I'd be like, and a Suns player, I'd be like, what are you doing, bro?
Saving face with the
Have a win.
with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, like what?
What are we doing? I don't know. But anyway, those 2 games, we'll break them all down tomorrow on the show. So we do have some NFL stuff that I put together. Because look, if you're on the Mojo Market, the app, right, you're investing right now. You're getting your portfolio stacked and ready to rock for the 2023 season. Now, yesterday, one Mark Ross wrote an article on NFL.com as to his top 10, and for argument's sake and for the Mojo Market sake, I only took the offensive players. He top 10 rookies that are in the best spot to win now. And when I hear win now, I think they're going to have a good season. And when I hear they're going to have a good season, I say they're going to make me some money on the Mojo Market. So I'm going to run down the players that, again, fall into the offense. Chris, you can agree or disagree. And their share price right now, I'll tell you who's around them. Give me your gut feeling about where these guys are and how they might turn out in this year, which, by the way, the NFL schedule release is set to be on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of leaks and all this other crap. And Wednesday night, they're going to introduce to you the first ever Black Friday game. They're going to give you, by the way, not everybody, this is good actually for football, not everybody is now allocated into primetime slots. So you won't see some dog shit teams just get, hey, Texans, we got to get you a Monday night game. Like, no, we don't. No, we don't. But you might want to see the rookies, kind of show out. We'll see. Also, player safety, they say. You could be scheduled for multiple Thursday night games, which means short weeks for everybody. So that I don't know if that really jives with a lot of the players, but it's been passed, and that's going to happen. So Thursday night, the schedule comes out. The number one guy on this list, according to Mark Ross, is Bryce Young, who got drafted by Carolina, number 1 overall. Right now, he's sitting at $46.49. He's above the following quarterbacks: Tua, Wentz, who is not in the league right now, Jimmy G, who's the starting quarterback for the Raiders, Daniel Jones, who just got paid by the Giants, Jameis Winston, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Geno Smith. So these guys have been vetted into the league. They have banked value, and their expectations are also great. We spoke highly of Tua last year. Is this reasonably priced for where this guy's sitting? How are the expectations, do you think, in Carolina year one?
I mean, I guess it's a little high for my liking. I'm not an investor, I don't think. I think Tua is the only case you can make out of all the guys that are below him.
Daniel Jones?
No.
He got paid, and now he's going to,
Tua, he just doesn't have the weapons for me where he's going to get any bank value. The numbers aren't going to quite be there for Daniel Jones, at least this year. I mean, we could see down the line, but for now, he's not throwing to Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, right? He doesn't have. Now, I'm not saying Daboll's not a good coach, but I think his approach to offense is going to be a little bit different than that you see out of McDaniels over there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm not an investor on it because I don't really like the Carolina weapons either. So
yeah, I mean it's Adam Thielen. It's they traded away DJ Moore.
Nobody.
It's not.
They
it's
got
not
Miles
pretty.
Sanders, but that's pretty much who they'll lean on until he gets injured. I'm sure that'll happen.
Jackson Smith-Njigba out of Seattle gets drafted by the Seahawks. He's coming in at an opening price of $9.34 on the market. This is above the following: Alan Lazard, Mooney, Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis, Chase Claypool, Christian Watson. So now, is Jackson Smith-Njigba coming in a little too high for your liking in a situation where Geno Smith got paid? The surrounding cast is DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Could that be a good thing for Jackson, not drawing as much attention on the defensive side of the ball?
I mean, it's obviously he's entering a good spot right now because DK's the guy. Tyler Lockett, they have good weapons in the backfield. They just drafted another running back as well.
Yeah, that was weird.
So, well, I mean, that's Pete Carroll football right there.
I know, but Ken Walker looks incredible. And I know they lost Penny to the Eagles.
But also, where was Ken Walker down the stretch?
I mean,
you
he
need
played all right. I mean,
where was he down the stretch?
They made the playoffs. And
where was he, though?
I don't know,
He was
man.
banged
He was there.
up.
He was definitely
He was
there.
in and out of the lineup. He had a couple good runs.
In the
He
facility.
had a good run at it early in the season, and then he hit his wall, which you expect out of a rookie potentially, so we'll give him the pass. But, no, you need backs. I'm okay with that pick. Seattle has a really decent offense put together right now. We'll see what it materializes into.
You investing in him?
I'm in on Jackson Smith.
Okay,
But because what have you seen out of Ohio State receivers? Just use that as the precedent. Ohio State receivers are money.
Yeah, they're
for the last 10. So I'm all in on Jackson Smith-Njigba. The situation is good. Obviously, the only guy I'll make a case for
Christian
is Watson. But what we saw last year in the second half, that was like a real small sample size of what he's capable of. If Christian Watson is able to just burn people the way he did last year and do things up down the field, you could see that switch too. I'm in on both.
All right. Our first tight end of two on this list is Dalton Kincaid, who got drafted by the Bills. Rumors have it that the Dallas Cowboys had all eyes on Dalton Kincaid. Buffalo comes up, jumps the Cowboys, changes things around. The Cowboys will tell you different. They're like, Mozzie was our guy the whole time. But right now, Dalton Kincaid coming in at $7.78. He's above Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Henry, Noah Fant, Dawson Knox. He's above his own teammate on Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox is going to be tight end one, you would assume, right? So, I don't know if this is a spot for you to invest in a Dalton Kincaid right now, considering volume might not be a thing to start.
Well, I think they're not really going to put him at tight end all that much out of the gate. I think Dawson Knox
is
going to
spread him out?
Yeah, he's going to play receiver. I saw a report. I'm going to pull it up if I can. So, I saw it early this morning as well. So it's not
on the old Bleacher Report or something to pop up on the front. This guy's got so many apps, I can't keep up.
I think it was on my.
To me, I just think the volume won't be there for Kincaid off the rip. I think he's going to be a great addition to this offense, which already was high-powered as it is. Stephon Diggs coming back for another year. Gabe Davis has to have a bounce-back year because he just, it's not that he didn't exist. It's just that he showed up in the playoffs. Everybody got really in love with Gabe Davis, and it just didn't show up towards the end. But the Bills need some more weapons, and I think they added one Kincaid. So I think that this is.
I mean, I can't find it. But
that's fine.
Trust me. Take my word for it, guys. They said that they're most likely going to use him at wideout.
It's on the internet, so
more often than
you know
not.
what that means. So three guys that I want to bring up towards the back end of this. Right now, backup quarterback for the Detroit Lions is Hendon Hooker. He's sitting there at $12.22. Right now, as a backup, he's already ahead of Davis Mills, Tyler Haneke, Sam Howell, who according to Rivera, who probably doesn't know what day it is going to start him over in Washington. Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's obviously somebody that you can make a lot of money on if he's named the starter, man, because he was, again, Mr. Irrelevant. His price goes up. Throughout the course of the year, let's see if he's slated to be the guy. But Hendon Hooker, are you in on Hendon Hooker right now as just like kind of invest him and store him?
Well, I'm going to look at Goff's contract right now.
Well, Goff's contract, listen, it's coming to an end eventually. Obviously, everybody's
So at the end of 2024, Goff's out of town. So there's a chance that they're looking to move on from Goff after this season.
Okay. So there you go. Then you're Hendon Hooker, who is, by the way, coming off the ACL. That's why his stock price or his draft capital price wasn't as good.
The dead cap after this season is only 5.
So this is definitely going to be a move
15 this year. They're obviously committed to Goff for this season.
Yeah.
But I think the writing is on the wall that they're going to give Hendon Hooker a chance.
All right.
But it's going to be after this
See him
season.
a little bit.
Plus
Maybe
he's coming off the ACL, et cetera.
Maybe
et cetera.
we'll see him in the preseason. Maybe we won't, because I know they said he would be ready for the regular season. So probably not.
No.
Yeah, red shirt this boy. Just have him hang out.
No.
The situation for one Jordan Addison is very interesting. We saw the departure of Adam Thielen. In come Jordan Addison, who is now joining, obviously, one of the best receivers in the league, in Jay Jetta. And, of course, they do have, I'm drawing a blank, the receiver that's definitely coming on.
KJ Osborne?
Osborne. He's definitely going to be there. So are you worried about the one ball to go around, or is this somebody you can actually get in on early? His share price is $8.48. He's very low. Very low.
I mean, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot this year. I don't know what their running situation is going to be like.
I can't believe he's still on the team.
I think Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I think Dalvin Cook might still get moved. Or it might just get cut post June 1st. I'm not sure, but I know a lot of teams are waiting on that day. You're going to see a lot of more free agents become available post June 1st. So
I mean, you can cut them now and designate them as a post June 1st cut.
Yeah, but if you want to trade the player,
okay,
then announcing that he's going to be a post June 1st cut, which writing
on the wall,
which is probably why all the teams are sitting there and saying, okay, we'll just wait.
Okay,
but
just curious how that worked. All right,
yeah, they could just.
So you like the situation because you think Cousins is going to throw the ball around a lot.
I do, and obviously anybody playing opposite Jefferson is in for less than double coverage,
lesser coverage, we'll call it,
whatever that means. But KJ Osborne, it's not like he's this superstar where he's gonna just all of a sudden be.
But I just thought that the departure of Thielen was going to give him a bigger opportunity.
It's definitely going to give him an opportunity.
Yeah, what he does with it, that's another story.
Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne, that's a nice battle to watch going into this season. See who's going to be the guy, and what they line up in the slot. I feel like KJ Osborne might be more suited to play the slot, but I haven't seen Addison play in the NFL yet. See how he lines up.
Clearly. All right, and the last guy I want to throw is one of your boys, Luke Musgrave, new tight end for the Green Bay Packers, who's coming into a. Think about it. So they lost Mercedes Lewis. He's gone. They lost Bobby Tonyan. He's gone. Is Luke Musgrave going to be tight end 1 on day 1?
I don't know about that.
Who the hell else do they got?
DeGuara. And I know DeGuara, and again, I agree.
You're the roster deeper than most others. So it's like
he has not lived up to his draft status. He was drafted in the 3rd round.
I don't
in
remember
the same
that.
year
Jesus.
as Jordan Love. So
what a bad draft.
I mean, Jordan Love, A.J. Dillon. If you looked at that draft, I think Elton Jenkins was in that draft.
A.J. Dillon's probably the biggest success so far of that draft class.
Well, it could be made.
It could be Jordan Love down the stretch.
We'll look at that draft. I guarantee you there's a lineman in that draft that's
still there.
Better
still rocking.
If Elton Jenkins was that year.
What year was this? 2021? Yes.
If Elton Jenkins was that year, then he was by far the best so far in that draft. But Jordan Love is going to be.
Okay, so they took Eric Stokes. It was a different year?
Oh, then 2020.
I thought, no, 2020. Oh, okay. Are you sure? Because
it was pandemic.
Pandemic special? Yes, it was. All right, 2020 draft picks have the following players. Jordan Love in the 1st. And then Mr. A.J. Dillon in the 2nd. And then, DeGuara, the tight end out of Cincinnati, hasn't really panned out. Kamal Martin, don't think he's on the team anymore. John Runyon. Is that the Runyon's son?
Something like that.
Wow. Something like that might be his nephew. Jake Hansen, center, Oregon. Now we're into round 6. Simon Stepniak, he's not.
Yeah, that's a shit draft.
Vernon Scott.
Unless Jordan Love pans out, because they did pass up on T. Higgins in that one.
Nobody wants to talk about that. But how are you on Luke Musgrave right now? I mean, considering Jordan Love, young quarterback, getting his first start, he's QB1, no more rumors, no more drama.
You can make the case that the other kid they drafted, Kraft, might be in this spot. So for that reason, they have 2 projects there.
Drafted 2 tight ends,
They
right?
drafted 2 tight ends. That's the most Packers thing
you have
ever.
to, though. You have to.
They lost 2 tight ends. They drafted 2 tight ends.
Perfect.
I think if you look around the NFL, that's the trend.
I mean, look at Dallas. They have 16 on their roster right now.
They could play special teams. The Packers need some offense They got a little bit of offense. But DeGuara, as far as that goes, I think he's going to be the guy to, it's his job to lose because he has the history with Jordan Love. They're the same draft class, and I think that they're pretty decent friends from what I'm reading.
Oh, good. They're friends.
So that could
I got made fun of when I said don't cut Zeke because he's his best friend.
I'm not saying that it matters in terms of who's better or not is going to play, but that might help. These guys are rookies. We haven't seen them. I talk to you all the time about how hard it is for a tight end to catch on early.
Sure.
It's not easy.
Look at Kyle Pitts. He's having a hard time.
You're splitting time between the receiver room and the tight and the lineman room. You have to learn a lot. There's a lot to take in as a tight end. It's
I agree.
hard, very hard position.
All right, so that's basically your early May report on guys you might want to get in on over there on the Mojo Market. One more NFL thing before I get out of here. Did you see the Jim Irsay tweet? Get off my lawn. He basically said, don't you dare call Andrew Luck this year. It's Andrew Luck's last year under contract with the Colts. And he said, if you do, it's tampering. He's pissed. He thinks people are going to come after him. Does Andrew Luck even want to come back? I don't even know. Andre the Giant
there was a report
doesn't want to come back, I don't think.
There was a report
the Washington Commanders were in
on him, and they contacted Luck's people, and Andrew Luck was like, no.
I'm not doing it. I don't want to play
I don't even know
no
that
more.
Andrew Luck could do it at this point.
I mean, he came out. I mean, Mike Francesa had a freaking stroke with this guy. He was like, this guy's the greatest prospect I've ever seen. Greatest thing. And I was like, okay, cool, great. Let him play it out. And don't get me wrong, he was a Pro Bowler. He played well.
2, 3, 4 years removed, and you're not training that way.
We don't know what he's doing. I mean,
I've seen Andrew Luck.
He ain't the other guys that need to do private workouts and show the media
here or there. I'm sure somebody would kick the tires on Andrew Luck if he chose to come back, but I'm not buying that.
All right, then
Not
don't buy
a
it.
shot.
But you could do us a favor. Instead of buying on Andrew Luck, you could follow us right now on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, at Mojo, M-O-J-O. All of the live bets and everything that you see throughout the course of an NBA game, you can see over there on the Twitter. They really catch you up with everything that's happening. So if you make investments on the fly, the liquid prop bets, they have money lines. They got it all. It's officially a sports book. There's no other way to spin it. Go make your bets tonight. The NBA obviously rolls on. Baseball is active now over there in the Mojo Market. And if you want to dive into some early NFL, have yourself a day. So for Dave Sturchio, Chris Gucci, this has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. Back here tomorrow to break down some more NBA playoffs.